Welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have a very special guest, a very close friend of mine. I've known Gary Hunt for what, 20 years, 30 years, something like
Coming
that?
up on 20
Go
years,
back to
yeah.
the telecom days in the 1900s,
When the pterodactyls
1990s.
flew and
Raised $600 million. Boom! Those are the good days.
Yes.
Gary is now the director of channel sales for the West for Voyant, a UCAS supplier. Before that, he was with he was with me at Advanced Telecom Group, Telepacific for 8 years, Paytech for a year building the channel, and then Comcast. He's been a channel manager at Comcast for the last 8 years. And lo and behold, he is now in the very crowded space of UCAS. So tell us, Gary Hunt, why did you join Voyant?
I would love to, Steve. Thanks for having me on the show. So I worked for Comcast, which was a great experience for the last 8 years, and specifically the last 4, helping to build the channel and grow it in Northern California, and really enjoyed that. Learned a lot, and started to think about towards the end of the year what I wanted to do next. And I enjoy growing the channel, and so at the same time, fortuitously, Matt Wilson, who also helped kick off the channel back in the day, reached out to me. He's the channel VP of Alliances at Voyant, and started to tell me a little bit about the Voyant proposition. Big company, 10,000 plus rate centers, huge network, wholesale only for the past 15 years, but recently rebranded as Voyant, our sister company's Intelliquent, and launched a channel and an enterprise direct model to start selling SIP and hosted voice and eFax across the country. And he had a need for somebody to come in, work with him, help build the partner channel. On the West Coast is where I'll focus, but right now I'm the only one, so it's the whole country. And it was really exciting. I like the idea of working for a carrier, and I know it's a crowded space, and I see the look on your face.
It's very crowded, Gary.
It is, but I'll tell you what's unique, and we can talk a little more about this. I know there's some of the other questions we were talking about. What would, the value proposition of Voyant be, and I'll elaborate on that. But I liked working at Comcast because we owned our own network. Same opportunity here at Voyant. Unlike some of my competitors, we own a tier 1 national network, one of the largest in the country, and that gives us some unique capabilities that some of our competitors don't have. And so that's what's really exciting about this.
So define that down a little bit better for us sales folks. What kind of customer profile are we looking for? What kind of pain that a customer's in that we think, perfect, that's perfect for Voyant, that's where you guys went?
Oh, well, that's a great question. So we're one of the only carriers, in fact, the only one that I know of, that can combine SIP trunking and hosted voice. Because we do both, because we have so many customers that are already out there doing this, billing, customer service, tech support's already in place, been in place for, again, 15 years, we can offer a blended approach to enterprise customers that are struggling a little bit with a legacy hardware, legacy PBX. They want to go to hosted. It's a big expense to rip that off the wall and go everywhere. So multi-site customers that have small remote offices, they can go UCAS, they can have SIP trunks. Again, because we own the network, we're very competitively priced. That's also something else that attracted me here, because the profit model is definitely something that not everyone can emulate. But we can offer a blended approach to help leverage that, leverage our backbone across the country, and then they can wean off of the PBX hardware with us. Same dial plan, so all the sites will be in the same dial plan. It's just kind of a cool thing.
That kind of makes sense to me. That's great. That's great. So boil it down to one sentence. Like, what's the one thing that you want the channel to know? Because I'm not sure everybody's heard of Voyant. So just give us that one thing.
Well, my goal is, and I have it as a goal for me to make sure that by the end of 2019, everyone at least knows who Voyant is. So hopefully we fix that. I'm working hard on that now. But the one thing, and it's tough to pick one, I'm sure everyone who comes on your show struggles with this, but is that we want to make working with Voyant the easiest that you can possibly have in the channel. And that's a tall order. We'll offer a number of different ways to work with us. From flip us a lead, we'll close it. From full integration, we'll give you the contract. You can work with the customer and take it from there, and everything in between. We have systems in place so that your customers can manage their own UCAS system, their host PBX online if they want to. You can manage it for them. We'll all do it together. But we really just want to leverage our network, leverage our competitive pricing model, and make it as easy as possible to work with the channel. We're very channel focused, and we want to be, especially with Matt and I coming from that background. So.
Well, that's one thing. That's
just one thing.
That's not.
Well, you knew I was going to stuff that.
I know. It's
right?
Gary. It's
Yeah,
my buddy.
Exactly. I couldn't.
He gets more time. Okay. Lastly, we want to know something personal about you. Let me pull something out of thin air. What was your favorite TV show when you were a kid?
Well, I have to admit to being a super geek about science fiction shows. Star Trek, couldn't get enough of the Star Trek shows when I was growing up. And then if every, science fiction, Star Wars hit, and that was just, of course, blew me away like it did a lot of people in my generation. But ever since then, I've seen every single science fiction show that you could ever watch in a movie, and I love them all. But yeah, that's probably my favorite show.
That's great. You've heard it here first on the Top Gun Show. And you also heard here, I've never seen Star Trek. Ever.
Whoa.
One episode. And we're still friends.
We can still be friends.
Kind of. Anyway, thanks for joining.
Thanks.